And 3, 2.
Hey, good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Town of Port Royal's April 8th council meeting, starting here at 6:30 in the Yvonne C. Butler Council Chambers located at 700 Paris Avenue. We've now called the meeting to order. We'll start off, as we always do, with the great Pledge of Allegiance. Councilman Ashmore.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Councilman Owens.
Father, we thank you for this opportunity as we assemble to conduct business of the town and those whom we serve. We thank you for the agenda being fulfilled and pleasing in your sight. We thank you for those in attendance and those whom we serve. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, thank you. Up first, as always, we do have our minutes. We've got the minutes from the public hearing March 4th, 2026, minutes from the council workshop of March 4th, 2026, and minutes from the council meeting of March 11th, 2026. I'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes.
Second.
All right, any additions, subtractions, corrections? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
They're official. Shown. All right, up next, we've got some proclamations. An important month for quite a few reasons and organizations. First one up is the Child Abuse Prevention Awareness Month. This one's presented by Hopeful Horizons and Kappa. Do we have representatives? We got Kappa here. Hey, I see. If y'all want to come up really quick, just tell a little bit about, we all know your organization, but just refresh our memories. Tell us about all the great things you guys are doing and what Child Abuse Prevention Awareness Month. That sounds pretty self-explanatory, but about it, and then I'll read this proclamation with you for you.
Well, good evening. My name is April Fletcher Clark. I'm the Director of Programs with Child Abuse Prevention Association. And we really thank you for recognizing child abuse. April is Child Abuse Prevention Month. We want to break the destructive cycle of child abuse and neglect by equipping parents, children, and their caregivers with necessary knowledge, skills, and values. So we appreciate being here. Thank you.
Absolutely, thank you.
Well, we appreciate working with Kappa. We do the forensic interviews that we hand over to the solicitor's office, and hopefully they can use the forensic interviews that we do with the children to figure out what went wrong and hopefully hold their perpetrator responsible in a court of law. But it's really important, I think, that we're just aware of the problem and we work to hone our skills that we can be aware and protect children in the community.
We're also on the Abuse Prevention Coalition together. So
Okay, great. Yeah, really quick, what are a few, I know we could probably talk about it all night, but a few things public could do to help bring awareness to this?
Acknowledge it and talk about it. We can't solve a problem unless you acknowledge it and talk about it. If we had a problem like where are we gonna go to eat, first thing you're gonna do is talk about it.
Absolutely.
And also like be aware of like signals that children might be giving off if they don't wanna go home. Who doesn't wanna go home? That's a first sign of a problem. If they're jumpy, if they look like they've been neglected coming to school and to different functions, not clean, hungry, stealing food.
yes, and having marks that aren't explained correctly by either the child or the parent, just to really match the injury.
It's stealing food, something to keep an eye on too, so.
Mhm.
Okay. Oh, anything from council, these lovely ladies? Yeah, thank you for all you'll do. It's tough work, I mean, it's heartbreaking stuff that y'all see and deal with every day. It takes a special person to be willing to willingly, deal with that, so thank y'all for doing that. On another note, how was Dancing with the Stars?
Wonderful, oh, absolutely wonderful as always.
Good,
So
good.
much fun.
Absolutely.
Who wants to go next?
Yeah.
$389,000 this year?
Correct.
That's awesome. That's great. work.
Amazing.
That's amazing.
Yep.
Dan told me he's been practicing.
Oh, good.
Really quick.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna read the proclamation, we'll come down and take some pictures with you.
Perfect, thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Child Abuse Prevention and Awareness Month proclamation. Whereas South Carolina's future prosperity is dependent on nurturing the health development of the 1.1 million children currently residing in the diverse communities across our state. And whereas all children deserve to have the safe, stable, nurturing homes and communities they need to foster their healthy growth and development. And whereas in fiscal year 2025, there were 12,269 documented children with sustained maltreatment in South Carolina. And whereas in fiscal year 2025, Hopeful Horizons conducted 385 forensic interviews of cases of child abuse and neglect, while Child Abuse Prevention Association, CAPA, provided 13,133 days of care to 90 foster children. And whereas child abuse is a public health issue with serious societal consequences, as data shows the link between the abuse and neglect of children and a wide range of costly medical, emotional, psychological, and behavioral problems into adulthood. And whereas preventing child abuse and neglect must be a priority that requires individuals, families, youth-serving organizations, faith-based groups, businesses, government agencies, and everyone that makes up our community to support the physical, emotional, and educational development of all children and their families. And whereas effective child abuse prevention exists in communities that provide parents with the social support, knowledge of parenting and child development, and concrete resources they need to cope with the stress and nurture their children, help to ensure that all children can grow to their full potential. And now therefore it be resolved, the Town of Port Royal, South Carolina, in conjunction with Hopeful Horizons Child Abuse Prevention Association, CAPA, and support service programs around the state designate the month of April as Child Abuse Prevention and Awareness Month, while urging all citizens to dedicate themselves to protect quality of life for every child. All right. Thank y'all. Yes, ma'am. Absolutely. So like I said, we'll come down there and get a picture with you guys in this. How long have you two been with CAPA and Hopeful Horizons?
I've been 7 years.
17.
Oh, wow.
Ooh.
Wow. It's a long time.
Yeah. Let's- Oh, okay, sandwich the mayor.
Let's step back just a little bit so we can get that center a little more.
Oh,
All right.
Oh, he's dancing already. I
That's
love
out.
it. Very
There
good.
it is.
We're gonna do two photos, one on this phone and one on this. Okay, here we go, ready, 1, 2, 3. Okay, 1 second. Go, 1, 2, 3. Get that.
Okay, so problem is we only have one of these right now, but we can get you.
I'll get the one next.
Okay, there you go.
Thank you very
Absolutely.
much.
Thank you very much.
I said after we
Thank y'all
get
for all
it.
your help. It's very serious.
We'll get you. We can Photoshop them in.
I know, I said,
Give you the googly eyes.
I see
we did a
your
picture out at Fripp. Thank you for what you do.
Thanks so much for your work.
Jennifer's like, Mom, if you don't quit closing your house, we can take a picture.
I know.
We did one at Easter on the,
Okay.
on the,
That's why. Rose has another one coming, that's why. Yeah, there we go. Okay.
you're the next one too.
I'm just gonna stay up.
Exactly. Up next is Sexual Assault Awareness Month. We just heard from Ms. Rose and Hopeful Horizons as well. Heard about the organization and what you guys do over there. What are some things with this issue that people could pay attention to, be aware of?
Speak out about sexually aggressive language. I don't know about you all, but I am tired of hearing the F word. Like sexually aggressive language, unwanted touching, like people touching each other without their consent, rape, when survivors report their incident, we need to believe them. And just anything that's like overly aggressive and overly sexual, like catcalling, it's only gonna stop if somebody says, hey, that's just not appropriate anymore, cut it out.
Absolutely. Okay. Well, I will read 2026 Sexual Assault Awareness Month Proclamation. Whereas Sexual Assault Awareness Month calls attention to the fact that sexual violence is a widespread problem that has health implications for every person in our town of Port Royal community. And whereas rape, sexual assault, and sexual harassment impacts our community as seen by statistics indicating that 1 in 5 women and 1 in 10 children will experience sexual abuse in their lifetime. And whereas Hopeful Horizons, our local children's advocacy, domestic violence, and rape crisis organization, served 1,369 primary victims in 2025. And whereas Hopeful Horizon urges every person to speak out against harmful attitudes and actions that lead to violence. And whereas all people are encouraged to report all types of violence in the community to make it safer, and whereas prevention of sexual violence is possible, therefore we must work together to increase awareness and involve all members of the community in these efforts, as well as help survivors connect with services. Now therefore be it resolved that we advocate across the United States and the state of South Carolina to proclaim the month of April 2026 as Sexual Assault Awareness Month, dated this 8th day of April 2026. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
One more picture.
I'm gonna stand on the other side of you so it looks different.
Good call.
Yeah.
That was good.
Smart.
Switched it up. Okay. All right.
Oops.
All right.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
absolutely appreciate you.
No, I appreciate you recognizing it.
Of course, thank you.
Thank you. Good to see you.
Appreciate you.
Thank you.
And I brought you all these bracelets.
I was about to say, you had a few on. I don't know if you were
Yeah.
wearing
One
6
or
or
two?
so.
It's supposed to,
One or two.
oh, I can give you 2.
No, I just said you had one or two.
Oh.
Thank you.
I put them on my arm so I wouldn't forget.
So you wouldn't forget them.
Smart.
That's what it is. Thank you so
It's
much.
like tying the ribbon around the finger. Hey. All right. Thank you, Rose.
Thank you.
Okay, up next, thank you for those proclamations. And again, I really mean that it's serious work and heartbreaking work. And so thank you all for stepping into that, doing that. Up next, a presentation. Beaufort County Solid Waste and Recycling, Mr. Jim Barry. Come on down. How you doing, sir?
Doing good.
Good, good, thank you.
Well, a few things to say about the council. I was appointed last September. I've attended 2 of the quarterly meetings and got to tour the I-2 Recycling Center over in Ridgeland area. It's where all of the recycling from the 4 collection centers go to for separation and then on further movement. Some of the newest programs that they're briefing that I'm sure you've read one that came out early this year. They're trying a food waste composting program where you go online, take a little briefing, and then you take a little test, and they give you a code to one of the recycling center's containers. And they actually, in fact, I meant to bring it up here with me. They've given out these little food collection boxes that you can collect your food in, and the little online test will tell you what you can and cannot put in there. They're collected at the 4 centers and taken to, I think it's to the Shanklin site where the grant that they got bought them a unit that composts the material. Their current plans for using that is on county facilities until they can ensure they're creating a viable product before they decide what they are going to do with it. But I did check with them this week, and I think they have issued 607, they said, codes to people who have taken the test, but only 4 of them are from this zip code. So maybe it's something that we could push a little further. And compost recycling, one of the main goals for that is to reduce it going into the landfill. Food in a landfill causes methane gas and animals and everything. So that's one of the primary goals, not necessarily just creating compost. Another thing that they've been briefing us on is, I'm sure you've probably seen that there's a committee that's reviewing the 2018 ordinance on the plastic bags. They were trying to close a few loopholes that retailers and people found in it. So it's progressing. I understand it's gone before several of the committees in the county, and it will be presented for approval at the next county meeting. I'm not sure when it is, but I think the city of Beaufort it's already passed first reading at the city of Beaufort, but they're expecting to see something out on the plastic bags, which will eliminate even the thicker bags that you see a lot of the stores using now. It will mainly be the reinforced cloth or paper is what they're thinking it'll be, but that's in the horizon. The other programs they brief occasionally is the Adopt a Highway program. I'm sure all of you have seen that. Sign up for a 2-mile stretch, 2-year program. So that's out there, and I've got some contacts if I need to pass them on. I met with the director of the programs, Victoria Hoffman, very capable individual, and she has indicated to me that they have received a grant. She's calling it a hub and spoke. They're the hub, and they're asking all the cities to be the spokes on recycling. They can provide containers for your parks. They can provide our education materials. I think they've sent it to Van and Brooke for y'all to look at, and she's just saying it's free money, and they're going to do all of the administrative work. If it's something that we would like to participate in, she just needs to correspondence, and they'll produce a little letter contract, I think, between the city and the county. Brooke, I met with Brooke about a week ago to discuss to learn a little bit more about the Waste Pro contract, our refuse collection, garbage collection, recycling, and she informed me that one of the problems that they're having at the recycling center is getting turned away because too contaminated. You know, that's an issue out at the site, out at the centers too. So what she offered to do, because Brooke told me that they were getting ready to rewrite the RFP, is Victoria said she would love to sit down with the city, and they've got wording they can put into the RFP that hopefully will reduce the contamination issues that we're seeing. So Brooke, she said, please give her a call. She'll sit down with you and help you as much as she can. One of the things I think they mentioned at one of the meetings I thought was kind of interesting is that recycling, for every ton of waste that's produced, recycling creates 9 to 10 times more jobs than taking that ton to the landfill. So, I mean, it reduces the input going into the landfill, and a landfill is not cheap. Once you get it up and operating, it might be, but setting up the liners, and then it never dies. You know, you have to monitor it forever. I think I mentioned when I interviewed y'all before, my first job in the Air Force as an engineer in the 70s was they gave me the landfill to run. I said, man, I go to 4 years of college and I'm running a landfill. But
It's important work.
yeah, but I'd be glad to take anything back to the committee that y'all would like. We meet, like I say, once a quarter. We go over their budgets and what's being produced. Victoria did mention that it looked like Port Royal's recycling percentage was about in line with what the rest of the county is. So
That's good to hear.
yeah. So if we can pick up a few more people, maybe composting the food, we'll move on from there.
Okay.
Yeah. Anything from council?
No, it's very informative. Thank you.
Thank you, Jim.
And that's, I was going to
Big
ask
deal.
about the composting. So that is something anybody can, you said you apply for, or you?
The food compost?
Yeah, food composting.
You go online.
Okay.
And you have to take a test.
Okay.
There's a link on the solid waste recycling homepage, and it basically just tells you what foods you can put in there.
Okay.
They don't want uncooked meat. They pretty much take most all the other eggshells also. And once you pass that test, they'll give you the code out at the center.
Okay.
And then,
It's an open book test.
Okay, I was about to say, we got to study. And then they give you one of these.
they give you one of these, and they
Okay.
have liners that go in here and tell you how to keep this clean.
Okay.
And you just have to take this how often you want. Now, you can get other containers too, but you just take this out to the center, punch in your code, and then you get access and you're done.
Okay. Yeah, I think more people would do that. They knew about that. I would ask if the committee, do they have any sort of, something we could share, something we could put out, a little, one pager or something kind of?
Yes, in fact, there's some in a bag I've got. I'll leave with Brooke
All right,
and Van.
perfect. Yeah, because we can
There's some,
put that out and kind of spread the
There's some
word about it.
information on this program and on the Adopt a Highway program, and some information on what they do and do not do at the centers also.
Perfect. Yeah, I think people would sign up if they just knew about it. It's one of those things, you kind of just,
Yeah.
we get the word out. I think we pump those numbers up, so. Okay, yeah, and then you hit on the recycling. That was really informative to me. We had a Waste Pro presentation, I can't remember when it was, but they talked about that, how, everybody, you think you're recycling, you put your recycling in the recycling, and it comes by, they pick it up, but then it goes to the dump, and they basically look in, and if they see some stuff that they don't like, they say,
Yeah.
nope, take it to the fill, take it to the landfill, that's not going in here. And apparently, it's not that much stuff that makes it get turned away. It's not like it's 50%. They said if they see something like, if it's 5% contaminated, or a very small number, they reject it.
I know the guy at L2 told me his drivers are trained, and if it looks like it's about 15%
Yep.
contaminated, they take it to the dump.
They reject it.
And the one thing I saw too, in talking with Victoria, our contract with Waste Pro pays for them collecting it and hauling it to the dump. And then the dump measures, Waste Management, I think, runs the dump. They measure the truck, report the tonnage to Victoria's office, and then Victoria and them actually pay, for the landfill tip fee.
Okay.
That doesn't come out of our $18 a month or whatever it is that we pay to Waste Pro. So if that truck could go to the recycling center with its tonnage versus the landfill, it's saving the county money.
Saves money, okay.
So,
It's good to know, so.
Yeah, that's good enough.
That's education.
All right. Anything from anybody? Okay.
How are I know that there was some concern about changing contamination levels of acceptance by the international buyers of recycled materials. Has that changed? I know China was the largest purchaser, but they were changing their percentage on accepting contaminated goods. And I know it was going to some of the secondary markets, Vietnam, some of the others, and I don't know if any of that's changed recently.
I haven't heard of anything, Dan. One of the issues that they were telling me is that the nearest centers, I guess, for doing the recycling is one in Savannah and one in Charleston, but then you've got hauling fees, which, especially now with the price of diesel going up. So it's not like we've got one in our back door that can easily be used in the recycling. So it is a challenge.
Okay. All right, well, Mr. Berry, thank you so much for your willingness to serve and coming up here and giving us that update. So, yeah, we'll get some information out about that
Very
that
detailed.
composting.
I'll leave
and-
that.
Yes,
I'll leave
sir.
that with Brooke Van.
Perfect, thank
Okay.
you.
Thank you.
Appreciate you, yeah. Anytime we have citizens that stand up and volunteer and get on our boards and commissions and Cypress Woodlands and all those things that kind of behind the scenes that you don't really see, that really help make the town tick, we really appreciate all of that. So, up next, council briefing.
Yeah, I'm going to cover a few things. Staff did meet with Safe Harbor this past week to kind of talk about some of their intended progress. Some of the things you're talking about are some fencing improvements, activated automated fencing, some additional landscaping work, but more importantly, they're going to move forward with demolition of the building behind Fuel and Fire. That has been put out for bid. They're getting pricing, so we will see that coming down really soon. So that's a pretty big step there.
Yeah, building B.
So y'all's view will be much better out the back of the building.
Love it.
And then secondly, we do have a meeting with Safe Harbor next week to discuss TIF and financing. You probably know we've got to work through some issues, multi-county industrial park and synthetic TIFs, and how we move forward some of the public projects associated with the updating of that TIF. So I'll give you all a progress report next month about how that is moving forward.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I said, they're good to see them moving forward with the demolition. You got to tear it down before you can build anything. And I keep reminding people, with this development, it's a big development. It's not, like I said, it's not like there's a we're not redeveloping something. It's not like there's something with some old bones. There's no bones. We gotta, every sewer, every electricity, every pipe, every road. I mean, we're basically, you're building a little city, so, so, like I said, it's good to see them laying the groundwork, and then, like you're talking about, the funding for the, those public assets, so.
Obviously, we made the selection of the first 4 for the incubator. We finally are getting the policy bound for those 2 units plus 1,800 that meet the specifications of the landlord. So we will hopefully get all 4 of them in, and probably in the next, get them into the space. I know we want to do kind of a formal ribbon cutting, which we will do shortly, but I just wanted you to know that progress is being wrapped up there. One of the other things we talked about was at a retreat, we talked about standing up this kind of, I won't say town-sponsored, but kind of business organization, local businesses. We talked about if, they were able to get together, put together some sort of, I don't want to say public relations, but potentially advertising campaign. That's something we could get behind. As you all know, we're working with the grant to look at a marketing plan for Rebo /
Is there an estimate on when that comes back? I know that.
May 7th, we have a meeting.
Okay, so yeah, next month, okay.
So I know that one of the things that we'd heard about was that sort of strategizing, and it's like, well, that's being pulled together.
Yeah.
That was part of that. And as part of that program as well, there were free classes for entrepreneurs. We're hoping that some of them will actually sign up for that.
Yeah,
That
I've
would
seen
be
that. I think
important.
that's been in the newsletter every week, so.
Exactly. I'll
Well-
keep you up to date on who's signed up and who hasn't.
Yeah, and we'll, the thought behind that, we talked about it, we had our small business breakfast earlier this year, and really the idea was that we've got all these really unique, different businesses and shops, and it's not in a big space, but it's kind of scattered around town. You come down Paris, you've got a great place here, great place there, great place here, great restaurant over here on this street, great restaurant over on this street. Is how do we kind of get everybody in the room and get them, communicating and collaborating and working together and just kind of making sure everybody's on the same page. Because, somebody brings up an idea, I'm having this event. Oh, well, we could spring off of that with this, or I'm having this, and we can work on that. So really just kind of about getting everyone those really important small businesses that make Port Royal really unique and special, because we love all those, and I know we'd love to support them, but how do we just kind of make sure we're all cooperating and collaborating together? So that'll be good, I think, to get that together, and I think we'll talk more about that, because we do need to figure out just the logistics of it, meeting at the town, when do they meet, how big's the board, who are the representatives on it, those things you do when we stand that up. So thank y'all.
And then the last thing I wanted to talk about was the property tax exemption issue that we kind of went over pretty extensively last week. I was hoping by this Wednesday we'd have the bill signed in place and everybody on board. But right now, there's no hearing scheduled for discussion. I have heard back from Bill Herb-Kirschman, who is the Bluffton representative, who's on Ways and Means and has agreed to kind of try to shepherd this thing through. We've reached
From anyone else?
From our locals?
nothing since the initial reach out.
Thank you.
Disappointing.
Yeah.
So Herb Kirschman did respond.
Oh, yeah, I was in communication with him again today.
What did he have to?
See, you got the S-125 and you got H-4475. And they're
Companion
basi-
bills in the
They're
Senate
companion
and the
bills.
House.
And as I
Basically doing the
mentioned,
same
I can't
thing.
remember what I mentioned, it sailed through the Senate 44-0. A good, seemed like a slam dunk to fix this situation. Got over to House side, died in the water. So, and within 2 weeks of it dying in the water, the Reserve Department's filed their application. So I know that it is becoming an issue. Kevin sent me an article about some issues that KC, South Carolina, was having with an apartment complex that was going from market rate to low to moderate income. I reached out to the city manager there, and he said, yeah, we just found out they have filed an exemption application. So I'm trying to get stuff out on the manager's listserv through the municipal association, making everyone aware of this. And we're hoping this will be addressed legislatively. I don't know that they have much time left in the session. But if they don't address it in the session, the DOR will still be open for business taking exemption applications.
So let me ask you something. If they're in the TIF district and they had already been, their funds had already been allocated in the TIF area, how do they not have to pay if they were already, it's no different to me than the Burton Fire Department because they had federal funding that,
Well, the problem is if it was an existing TIF, the exemption would completely undermine the financing put in place to pay the
It would.
debt service on the borrowing. Because you're relying on anticipated revenue and the
Right.
tax digest. However, this TIF was retired back in,
and we didn't redo it.
well, we couldn't.
Yeah,
I mean,
I remember.
the bond was paid off. So it converted back to traditional, school district, county.
But if it had been, we would have,
Well, no,
What-
there's nothing in the law that protects a MCIP or a TIF from this happening. Even if the TIF funds had been designated, like, just to give you an example, the TIF that we had in the late 90s and the early 2000s was designed was the Millennium TIF. And that was to help with the public infrastructure for what is now Beaufort Memorial, or was the Cancer Treatment Center, the office space, as well as the Preserve Apartments. So we pledged and spent public tax dollars for the creation of the public infrastructure to help those things get built. Now, obviously, as I mentioned, it expired, or we paid it off, and now it's going to be a tax exempt property as the law is currently written in perpetuity. My comment to Herb Kirschman today was, if we can't address the grandfathering issue, I think that in order to get the exemption, you should be required to apply every single year and prove
exactly.
that you qualify under the new law, which would be more aligned with whatever your corporate umbrella is in terms of percentages, that exemption be fall in line, not 0.01% or 0.1%, and then be entitled to 100% exemption.
Yeah, there's no checks and balances.
No. And I explained, this is simple math. Let's just say they have 10 units that they've dedicated to affordable housing. So they cut the rent $600 a month to make it affordable. 10 units, 600, that's 6,000, that's 72 grand a year. In exchange, you get a $1.345 million property tax exemption. Not a bad deal.
No.
The revenue code 9632
Yeah.
that they reference is impossible to achieve with how they operate and what their business model is. It is,
But once again, there's no checks and balances. Nobody ever
so
confirms.
even if we do, we could execute what we asked Bill to do and to say, there's got to be an annual requirement. What's to say that they don't, that they continue to file every year, but then they just redact the crud out of everything like they did this time?
Well,
I mean, there was whole black
the
pages.
DOR
has
gets
the-
that info. Our
It's not
government, in
redacted to
response to
them.
another branch of its government, redacted all of the proofing information.
So what's to say that that doesn't happen?
Well, they
Because
will,
it happened
they
here.
will always redact it to us.
Again, so.
Right.
So so we can make these requirements, but if the dude that controls the exemption approval is gonna redact it anyway, then it doesn't matter how many times they apply, because he's just gonna redact it and leave it alone.
And I will tell you that we are hearing from Preserve residents that there is a publicized rental rate, and then there's what they're actually paying.
Yeah, I've had a few residents over there reach out to me after they saw the article and everything, and they were kind of basically like showing another layer of how they're
Dishonesty.
getting away with it. Yeah, so they'll post a rate, like the rent on paper will be like $1,500 or yeah, $1,200, and so they can show that that's the rent. But then they basically get nickel and dimed with all these fees. There's a washer and dryer for fee. There's a security fee. There's a fee to there's a fee to process their rent check because they have to use a certain portal to pay their rent. And so there's like a $25 processing fee, and by the end of it, the fees adds up to hundreds of dollars. So they'll show on paper, oh yeah, this rent's $1,200, but really the person's rent is about $1,750 or $1,800 in these little $50 here, $25 here, $68 here, $75 here, and it's all these fees, and they can't opt out of those. Those aren't optional.
negotiable.
Those aren't optional. Those are, you want to live here, here's your fees. And so I've had some people reach out to me and show me screenshots of their
Charges.
their rent, yeah, their charges. And again, you'll see rent, just based on that, and that's a way that they're doing, they show that. It's like, okay, I mean, again, on paper, the rent looks nice, but then you add $400 a month in fees that you have no option of, you were required to pay. Then that's how they get their,
Still part
yeah,
of the rent.
that's how they get their money, so. But, yeah, it's been very eye-opening, this whole process, so.
And let's not forget that the parent company is Sundance Bay, which is a private equity firm out of Utah.
Yeah, they know what they're doing.
Yeah, but they're doing business as something else out of California or
Right.
Delaware or not South Carolina. Cool. So MASC is our advocate up there. Have we heard from MASC about what their priorities are when it comes to something like this? Now that we know Rock Hill, now we know Casey, and now we know us.
They are actively engaging Bill Hirsch-Kirschman. They've talked to Shannon about this issue. They were aware of it last year with Rock Hill. So it should be a priority.
Yeah,
That'll be a topic this summer conference.
hope so.
Yeah, they probably won't go to dinner with us because they won't like us.
Like, show up for anything.
Yeah.
We show up, if there, we take a couple classes, and they tell us everything's going great. That update we got today was awesome, a legislative update. Had nothing to do with what was going on here, not even, a, hey, we haven't forgot about you.
Yeah.
So, I have a short memory, or a freaking long memory too. And that matters, because when people ask me questions on what everybody's doing for us, I can't tell them that. I can't help them out. I can't help you with that. I can tell you that I lose sleep at night, and I have to be honest on this up here with you guys, that this property tax thing, and I told you this in your office, I don't have a dog in this fight. Being a disabled veteran, I don't pay property taxes. I don't pay vehicle tags. That's a benefit that was earned and that our county extends to us. But not everybody has that. And so I really don't have a dog in this fight, and I lose way more sleep than I have had in a long time, to include getting blown up in Afghanistan and Iraq over this, because everybody is brushing over this like it's no big deal and we'll handle it next year. It's an election year, and nobody seems to care, other than, let's see if I'm gonna get another seat. I'm sorry, I can appreciate an election, but there are real people's lives that are gonna be affected by this. Eventually, it's gonna catch them. And they're not prepared for that. Our community, not all the community is prepared for that. And again, as much as we wanna say we have this hard and, we want all this affordable stuff, that's about to happen. That's gonna happen. And although we may be able to absorb it, we can't do it forever, because it's certainly, that's one of the things, eventually you run out of everybody's money. You just do. You run out of other people's money. And then who do you take it to? The solution, I'm sorry, and I don't mean to talk at anybody, but the solution can never be to just raise the taxes. It can't be that. We do a good job of being great stewards of our people's money, and we beat Van up and the team hard enough just to do it. And I'm telling you, again, I really don't have a dog in this fight, because I don't have that burden, but I'm not gonna dismiss the fact that I feel that, yes, I did earn it, and so did my fellow veterans earn that. And our county's great to us with that. But this is what everybody in this instance should feel like right now.
But you know what? You're right. You
I
earned
get it.
that.
I get it, Mama Beth,
But listen to me a second. You do have a dog in this fight. We represent everybody in Port Royal.
Exactly.
So you have a dog in that fight.
And that's the thing, right?
That's where
I got
you
that
have.
many dogs in the fight. And
Yeah.
that hurts, because the people that we count on every day, that we just say, okay, cool, go there and do the thing.
Yeah. So you do it.
I would appreciate, I guess I'll use that word, someone reach out and say, hey, we effed this one up, man. We're gonna get right on it. It'll be a priority for us. Because again, now we know it's Rock Hill, now we know it's Casey, now we know it's us. That's 3. That's no longer an accident. It's no longer a coincidence. This is strategic fishing. They're strategically doing it at different parts of our state to see where they can get away with it. That's what it is. And again, not mad at them. That's business. That is a business plan in the making. I'm gonna save my client money, and this is how I'm gonna do it.
But it's
man,
gonna
promote
hurt-
that guy.
It's
But-
gonna hurt the budgets in
Yeah, but-
271 counties in our
Maybe,
state.
again,
You know,
it's
cities.
election year, I just want to remind everybody that.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
election year.
And when they don't call to talk back and try to help us, just remember that.
Done with it.
At least-
Thanks, Van. I appreciate the updates that you give, man. I really do, and I try not to get like this about it, but, and it sounds always like I'm talking at you, man, and I hope you appreciate that, but I gotta say it somewhere. And just to make sure I'm not crazy about it, because as the more I read it, you know, and looking at the code that they're referencing.
It's crazy.
It doesn't make sense how somebody would look at that at face value and approve that. And then even more, it's just, oh, let's just redact it. That's the kick the dog while he's down stuff. There's no way for us to defend our citizenship from that, for our citizens from that. And it's just like, cool, good, hey, thanks for, you have to submit a FOIA. Great, we reach back with a FOIA. And then they're like, yeah, well, that wouldn't get over anyway, so here you go, Doug. Oh,
They didn't care
shoot,
about it.
man, I'm telling you, that's disappointing, to say the least.
Yeah.
To say it kindly, I'm just disappointed.
You're right, we have 16,000 dogs in the fight. And,
right.
yeah, that Casey article, I've been, you know, spending a lot of time researching this, looking into it, and came across that article, and it basically was a headline that said, in Casey, it was an apartment, luxury apartment complex, now affordable housing, and their citizens were going, we just got a letter, like, what just happened? And I sent that to Van, I go, yeah, you think this is related? He was like, absolutely, it's related, so.
Curious to see
it's
who's
yeah.
representing them in that.
So, yeah, exactly. I'd like to see who filed that
See where they
application, right?
voted.
But I will say this, and we were, you know, given no heads up about it, caught us off guard. I'm glad we caught it, and, you know, little old Port Royal is waving the flag, kicking and screaming, fighting. We're engaging people at the state level, local level. You know, we've got, you know, there's been multiple, you've seen us probably on TV, you know, newscasts about it, articles about it. Like I said, we always talk about Port Royal, we punch above our weight, and I think we're doing that now. And when we get this resolved, which I believe we will, you know, we will have done a good thing, not just for our citizens, but the state of South Carolina and all municipalities. And we'll let them, you know, absolutely, we're doing the right thing for, like I said, not just us, but the entire state and everybody, every police department, every fire department needs to be made aware of this. And so we are definitely, like I said, Port Royal is leading the charge on this issue. So, yeah. Anything else?
No.
Anything else on our briefing?
That's it.
That's it? Okay.
Appreciate you, Van. Thanks, buddy.
Yeah, no, and those are all.
Update on.
Thank you for your comments.
On Paris Avenue.
Paris Avenue?
Update on Paris Avenue.
It's a big hole. No, it's actually going about as well as it conceivably can. We've found no archaeological stuff. I've seen people trying to throw stuff in the holes. No, I'm just kidding. But we're still interfacing with all the businesses and making sure they're good to go. But I think I feel for Tom Jenkins. He deals with the
Yes, he does.
the slings and arrows.
It
But he
looks
hadn't been
like-
assaulted again, so that's a good thing.
It looks like they're coming down,
The Helena
being
House.
done on the one side. I mean, they've basically gotten that dug up. Looks like they've got the pipe. I mean, they're not completely done, but it looks like that one side is pretty much done. I mean, that part of it is done. I don't want to be like it's done. Yeah, they got a lot to do.
The weather has cooperated,
Yeah,
so-
Weather's cooperated. But yeah, you're right. Tom's, if you go up there, he is all over the place, talking to everybody. People walking by, people in cars, business owners. He's a general contractor, and now he's public relations
Yeah.
on the ground, so.
And just one other thing I did want to bring up. Striping's down for Spanish Moss Trail, trees trimmed.
I saw that today.
We're doing the other end, the Ritter Circle end with the concrete, I think next week, I think.
I think so.
We're coordinating, we've got it under contract, so we're gonna get it all mowed down and probably be able to cut a ribbon and
We
open that
can-
sucker up soon.
If you can let us know ahead of time so we can get in touch with the schools, because,
Well, it's gonna be open very soon.
yeah, well, we kinda
So they can have some representation at that.
Oh, yeah,
level.
yeah, at the-
yeah,
Because
yeah,
they're gonna
that's
start
perfect.
to adopt those
Oh, that's perfect.
sections of it.
Absolutely.
I think they'd be appreciative
So
of that.
there is no plan for any advanced signalization to warn people, particularly coming off the bridge? Nothing?
That is on our list.
It's on our list.
The upcoming, the Penny project, that's one of our improvements, road improvements that we have on there. So we got that in there. But yeah, you're right, I was thinking that some sort of light on the bridge, something letting you know.
When it's being.
I wish we had left the cross arms.
I know.
That'd be awesome. Can we find some?
But yeah, so that's something we're talking about. It's on priority lists. It's being pushed for that, because yeah, you're right, some sort of coming down the bridge.
That was asked of DOT, but the engineer in charge in Charleston would not allow it.
And it's unfortunate that, and hopefully not, that, you have to wait for a tragedy before people
Right.
react.
But this is the same engineer that wouldn't let us put the crosswalk markings on Water Hill.
Absolutely, interesting,
No.
interesting.
But we'll stay on them. I mean, we drive it every day, we see it every day, so we're gonna talk about it every day. Drayton Drive speed humps.
That we've talked to Blythe.
I know, those are,
We're going to be meeting with the contractor to go out on site for the locations.
Great.
And we'll be talking about scheduling at that time.
okay, great. Is there any, before that work begins, is there any mechanism for notifying that neighborhood? Do they get a heads up, or are they just?
Wake
I
up.
didn't know, I mean, maybe we put something out on social, just something, so they don't just wake up and be like, oh, yeah, it's construction, there's concrete trucks in the road today.
We'll probably
So-
try to follow the same protocols that we did for the others, except we're no Dukes of Hazzard ones this time.
Okay, but I'm saying, but no door hangers like we do with some projects.
It's not lining
So-
anything out. Just give it, don't line everything out, man. We
No.
might need a Dukes of Hazzard one out there.
Maybe I guess when we get a firm date that they will
Pretty good over there.
begin, we'll put something out that's gonna begin. So yeah, let's just, when we just know, if you could try to get from them, like,
Set up a
I know
lemonade
it's,
stand.
I know they're not gonna know exactly, but kind of, if you give us a roundabout, like, this week you're gonna start, or then we can put something out, so they just
Speaking
kind
of door
have a
hangers, I
heads
did
up.
get a couple calls in regards to the hangers in the Casablanca area about the CBG grant survey. And of course, I encourage them to fill it out, complete it.
If
Yeah.
they do not fill those out, they will not be qualified as low to moderate income, and they would be required to pay the capacity and tap fees associated with
Well,
it.
that's what I told them. I said to fill it out.
Yes.
So I did to fill it out, and so,
So,
okay, but that's good.
and once that is done, and if they do qualify, that also covers the plumbing from
From
the
their-
line to their house.
So that'll cover their tapping in.
Yes,
So
but
that's
if
good
they
news
don't,
for them.
they're gonna be responsible
They're gonna be
for-
responsible, and that's what I shared also. Now,
Yeah.
I didn't know about that part,
Yes.
but I told them, once the sewer goes in there, that they will be responsible, or required,
Yeah.
mandated to tap in.
Yes.
And as for any type of assistance, then they would have to explore that, so fill it out. So
Fill it
Yes.
out.
Fill it out, so that's what I told them to do.
Great,
All right,
Need to do it.
cool.
That's all I got.
Yeah,
thank you.
Before we move on, Van, and I don't, just not to keep my blood pressure up, but if you don't mind keeping us on either workshop or council meetings until we resolve this tax thing, if we could just get an official update from you for the community here, in this venue. In either workshop or here is fine. Again, I don't think this is something that we're just gonna walk calmly into the night and just say it'll fix itself. It's gonna require a lot of us.
and here's something to keep in mind about our state legislative sessions. They got 4 weeks, and they meet 3 days a week, so there's 12 after this week, tomorrow's Thursday. So next week, there will be 12 legislative days left in the year. So 12 days, that's not quick, that's not a lot. 4 weeks, 3 days a week, that's not a lot of time, so. But, okay. All right, anything else, like I said? So, a lot of good things, One not good thing, but 1 out of 10 ain't bad.
Hey.
So,
Winning.
yeah, cool. All right, well, up next, public comments. This is public comments for agenda items. I do not have any cards for agenda item public comments. So we will move into first readings. First readings, 2026-7, an ordinance to authorize the town manager to convey excess real property to facilitate construction of sidewalks within the town described as Beaufort County Tax District 110, map 11, parcel 69, better yet known as 909 8th Street.
Yeah, it's approximately 37 and a half feet of sidewalk. It is an addition to an existing sidewalk, so it is a sidewalk construction program.
Okay. I'll entertain a motion.
So move.
Get a second.
Second.
Okay, no discussion, but I just think it's important because it's something really cool that the town does, is our sidewalk program. And I'm always trying to, I've now started to get engaged with it. And so, learning more about the process, if you could, just give us what is the Port Royal Sidewalk Project that is open to our residents?
Well,
What happens, how do they do it?
It started basically 2 decades ago.
Okay,
And it's when, to be quite honest with you, is the town was broke or didn't have the money to actually build sidewalks. And because of the comprehensive plan and how we anticipated growth or lot coverages to happen, and because of the width of the right-of-ways, the town, in exchange for a sharing of costs on the sidewalk, would convey 8 additional feet on the front of the properties to the property owners. And in exchange for that additional 8 feet, there would be a cost share on the sidewalk.
so if you own property in the town of Port Royal, you can apply for this program, and if you apply for it, of course, it has to go through 2 readings here, and once the town approves it, the town will deed you 8 feet of right-of-way, correct?
Yes.
You will build the sidewalk, and then at the end of that, show the invoice for that, and the town will reimburse you for half of that sidewalk.
Or we would build it.
We build it and they
and
pay.
We build it and they pay half.
Yeah, yeah.
So you get 8 feet of the right-of-way back to
Right.
you, and you get half the sidewalk paid for.
Correct.
So, it's pretty unique. I mean, I think it's a really, creative way to increase sidewalks around the town. And so it's definitely working. I think we have a sidewalk probably on every agenda that I've been here, so.
They're the Johnny Appleseeds of sidewalks.
Yeah, so people take advantage of it. It's a really unique thing, and I think some people still just don't know about it. So I'm, always kind of pushing that out there. Hey, you want a sidewalk? Come to the town. You'll get 8 feet of property deeded back to you from the right of way, and half the cost paid for. So
And, the additional 8 feet, you're not going to be able to build another unit on your property.
Yeah.
But it might allow you to add a porch, those sorts of things.
absolutely, it just gives you a little more space in the front to work with. So, okay, all right. Well, any other discussions, questions, or comments?
No, sir.
All right, hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All right, more sidewalk. 37.45 feet of sidewalk.
You got it.
Coming in. All right, up next, we've got some resolutions. First is a resolution, fair housing resolution. Van, if you just kind of give us a little.
Yeah, as recipients of federal funds through the Community Development Block Program, we have a couple of resolutions and policies that we have to adopt on an annual basis, and one is the fair housing resolution.
Okay. And just for the record, I'll read it. Whereas April 8, 2026 marks the 58th anniversary of the passage of the U.S. Fair Housing Law, Title 8 of the Civil Rights Act of 1968, as amended, in the state of South Carolina enacted the South Carolina Fair Housing Law of 1989 that both support the policy of fair housing without regard to race, color, creed, national origin, sex, familial status, and handicap, and encourages fair housing opportunities for all citizens. And whereas the town of Port Royal is committed to addressing discrimination in our community, to support programs that will educate the public about the right to equal housing opportunities, and to plan partnership efforts with other organizations to help assure every citizen of their right to fair housing. And whereas the town of Port Royal rejects discrimination on the basis of race, religion, color, sex, national origin, disability, or familial status in the sale, rental, or provision of other housing services. And whereas the town of Port Royal desires that all citizens be afforded the opportunity to attain decent, safe, and sound living environment, now therefore be it resolved that the town council of the town of Port Royal, South Carolina, does hereby designate April 26th as being Fair Housing Month, and recognizes the policy supporting fair housing by encouraging all citizens to endorse fair housing opportunities for all, not only during Fair Housing Month, but throughout the year. Fair housing resolution, having read that and everybody heard, I entertain a motion that we approve the Fair Housing Resolution Act, Resolution 2-2026.
Second.
Second. Any comments or concerns? Okay, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Okay. Up next, one more resolution. If you'd like to.
Yeah, resolution regarding non-discrimination on the basis of disability is established by Section 504 of the Rehabilitation Act as amended and the American with Disabilities Act of 1990 ADA. As I mentioned previously, as recipients of federal funds, these are policies that we have to have in place, and this is a resolution in support of non-discrimination.
Absolutely, and I'll read this one as well. A resolution regarding non-discrimination on the basis of disability as established by Section 504 of the Rehabilitation Act as amended in the Americans with Disability Act of 1990, the ADA. Whereas the Congress of the United States has passed Section 504 of the Rehabilitation Act of 1973, which requires that no otherwise qualified individual with a disability shall solely on the basis of his or her disability be excluded from participation in, be denied the benefits of, or be subject to discrimination under any program, service, or activities receiving federal assistance. And whereas the town of Port Royal has applied for, received a community development block grant, and is required to comply with Section 504 of the Rehabilitation Act of 1973, and whereas failure to comply with the terms and conditions of Section 503 of the Rehabilitation Act may cause the town to lose its grant or eligibility for future grants, and now therefore be it resolved by the mayor and council of the town of Port Royal duly assembled and with the authority of same does adopt the following. Section 1 of its policy of the town that all programs and activities shall be accessible to and usable by qualified persons with disabilities in accordance with Section 504 of the Americans with Disabilities Act, or the ADA. Section 2, that the town shall conduct a self-evaluation with the assistance of citizen review committees involving individuals with disabilities or its programs, policies, procedures, and facilities to determine those areas where discrimination may occur. Section 3, the town shall, upon completion of the self-evaluation plan, make revisions, modifications, or other changes so as to fully comply with the letter and intent of Section 504 in the ADA. Section 4, further, the town shall, where building modifications are required, develop and implement a transition plan for eliminating structural barriers in a timely manner in accordance with Section 504 in the ADA. Be it further resolved that the town of Port Royal shall publish the resolution in the local newspaper, adopted this 8th day of April 2026. Having read that, I'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second.
All right, any questions, comments, concerns? Okay, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay, all right, we got one more resolution, and I apologize, I got some more stuff to read. This one's a long one, but I also had, if you kind of wanted, do you want to give us some feedback, Van, on this one? You've been involved in this for a little while.
Yeah, prior to the designation of the Reconstruction National Park, obviously Camp Saxton and the location of the Emancipation Oak was identified as key components of that national park. As you all know, Camp Saxton and the Emancipation Oak are located on the Naval Hospital property. So one of the things that we started working on back in the 2015, 2016, 2017 kind of timeframe was how do we get access to that portion of our history while still respecting the security and fence line of the Naval Hospital. At that time, we were working with Billy Kaiserling and members of Congress to see about the relocation of that fence line. We went so far as to walk the property with Navy personnel, as well as kind of create some maps showing where that fence could potentially be relocated to accommodate that access. Unfortunately, that effort, much like a piece of sidewalk we just celebrated, kind of didn't get the traction that we thought it should. And if you do remember the town when it relocated the Pinckney Porter Chapel from 16th Street to the Naval Heritage Park, we allowed the National Park Service, to, and a lot of people don't know this, to occupy that chapel rent-free as a place to tell that part of the history. And I think that at that time, they had made arrangements for some access, some guided tours, obviously very specific times. But, you know, I think it's worth pursuing once again. And we were approached by a group that had an interest in helping to assist with that. And so that's kind of the genesis of this resolution.
Absolutely. I see, before we get into it, I see Mr. Pringle's in the back. Is that you back there? Did you want to come up here, sir? And I introduce Mr. Pringle here. He is one of the members of the organization called Call to Action, and they were the ones that brought this to our attention. We had a meeting with them, Councilman Owens, him, and he's got a partner, Sonia, and a organization that she has, I believe, Gullah Nation. who I think you're gonna start seeing more of in the town of Port
American
Royal.
Gullah.
American
American
Gullah.
Gullah, there
And
he
we're gonna
is.
start seeing more of them in the town, which we're all very excited about. But this was, like I said, something Van's been involved in before, and it is just so cool, the history of Port Royal. You see this seal behind us. You talk about the Emancipation Proclamation being read for the first time publicly, and they think in the nation, but for sure in the South, being read right there. Stone's throw away from where we sit right now. What a moment in our American history that is. And American history affects world history. So what a moment in the world's history happening literally on the banks of the Beaufort River right there. And so we got excited about it. We jumped right on it. We told you we'd get it on this. We told you we'd get it on this meeting. So, yes, sir. So, Mr. Pringle, if you want to introduce yourself and just tell us a little bit about this, and we'll get into it.
I'm Nate Pringle, originally from Bluffton. How this all transpired, Sonia Griffin Evans and I were looking at a space here in Port Royal for retail, and that's going to be American Gullah. Then also we started thinking about doing a history tour on golf carts, which my brothers and I already do in Bluffton, where we grew up. So along with the facts about Bluffton, we share a lot of stories that we were privy to growing up. So when we came to Port Royal, we knew a lot about Port Royal from growing up in this area. So when we came to Port Royal, all of the things about Port Royal started manifesting in our heads. And one of the things we came up with was Port Royal is actually ground zero. You know, a lot of what's happening now as far as history goes, the attention is being kind of pulled away from Port Royal. So we thought we can draw some more of that attention back to Port Royal and kind of share Port Royal's rich history. You said a little bit of background about me. We also have a nonprofit, a grassroots nonprofit, and the name of it is A Call to Action. A Call to Action is one of the things we've done in the past was we were responsible for getting Campbell Chapel AME Church on the National Register of Historic Places, along with the blessings of the church and with help from people in the community and town council in Bluffton. So we're just flabbergasted about coming to Port Royal and seeing what we can do to kind of partner with you guys from a town council, mayor standpoint, and also with the business owners. And we can't leave out the Historic Port Royal Foundation.
Yes, sir.
We want to work alongside them to do what we can do to make some of the stuff you want to do come to fruition.
Well, thank you very much
Certainly.
for everything you've done, and in the short time we've really gotten to know each other, and I really appreciate it. And I'm learning a lot from you and your partners. So again, just, you know what they say, those who forget their history are doomed to repeat it. And Port Royal has got amazing, like I said, just United States, American history, world history, like you said, ground zero. Reconstruction started here.
Yes.
So thank you for that, sir. We really appreciate it. Any questions or anything for Mr.
Certainly.
Pringle?
I'm excited.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you, sir. Okay, I also got a letter here I wanted to read from the Beaufort Chamber of Commerce. Mayor and members of council, I'd like to share support on behalf of the Beaufort Regional Chamber of Commerce for Resolution 4-2026. The Beaufort Regional Chamber has been deeply engaged in advocacy around the future of the Naval Hospital Beaufort property for several years, working alongside the Defense Community Partnership, the Military Enhancement Committee, leaders of the town, and regional economic development partners to envision what this remarkable waterfront site could become. Most recently, we collaborated on a significant regional effort to bring a U.S. Coast Guard training center to this very campus, a campaign that demonstrated just how much potential this property holds and how effectively our community can organize around a shared vision. Through all of that work, we have consistently maintained that Camp Saxton is not just a footnote on the property's future. It is a significant asset. The reading of the Emancipation Proclamation on Camp Saxton on January 1st, 1863 is not a local story. It's an American story, one of the most consequential moments in the long arc towards freedom. Whether through federal reuse, responsible redevelopment, or a combination of both, this site has the potential to become one of the most distinctive heritage and economic assets on the East and the entire East Coast. Restoring public access to Camp Saxton is a promising step towards the future. We believe the path forward for this property can honor both its military heritage and its deeper historic significance, and we look forward to working alongside all partners, especially the town, as that future takes shape. We also want to highlight something that strengthens the legal and federal foundations for this effort. The John D. Dingle Jr. Conservation Management and Recreation Act, Public Law 116-9, signed in 2019, explicitly authorizes the National Park Service to accept administrative jurisdiction of federal land adjacent to the existing Camp Saxton boundary. This statutory framework already exists. As we celebrate America's 250th anniversary and as the Naval Hospital property enters a new chapter with the VA clinic relocation and potential redevelopment discussions, the timing for this action is fitting. Thank you for your leadership. Thanks, Megan Morris, President and CEO of the Beaufort Chamber of Commerce. I got one more. I see I got people reaching out. This one is from Colonel Warren Parker. He's the chairman of the Military Enhancement Committee. He just sent a short email earlier to Van and I want to let you know that the Military Enhancement Committee fully supports the subject resolution. This is a solid initiative that I think will help to further our initiatives regarding the use of the naval property. For too long, the issue of Camp Saxton has lingered without a firm resolution. Kudos to you for moving forward with this. Best, Warren Parker. So just wanted to get those public comments. They could not be here, asked that those were read, so I just wanted to get those out into the record. So with that, I'll entertain a motion that we approve Resolution 4-2026.
I'd be honored.
Second.
So moved.
Okay, any questions, comments? I know I just read a lot, said a lot. I've been reading a lot tonight. But anything from council on this?
Very exciting.
Okay, yeah, it's super great. So, and again, thank you for, this is one of those things where you really see public-private partnerships coming together and working together to really do great things. So with all that being said, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Resolution 4-2026 has passed. Up next, important dates. Mr. Willis.
Saturday, April 11th, is 12 to 2 p.m. is the Port Royal Police Department's annual spring fling at Live Oaks Park. Chief, you got anything you want to say about that, or are you good?
Weather's supposed to be beautiful, so fire department will be there too.
All right.
All right.
Are they bringing donuts?
What uniform will the dog be wearing? That's just what I want to know.
Matters.
Not the fire department.
Okay, good, just making sure. Tuesday, April 14th at 1 p.m., we'll have a marine alligator biologist here for a public presentation at Town Hall. Thursday, April 16th, the Historic Port Royal Foundation third Thursday at Live Oak Park from 5:30 to 7:30 p.m. Saturday, April 18th, the Soft Shell Crab Festival from 11 a.m. to 5. Brooke, you got anything?
We're still looking for volunteers, so please share that.
Okay.
And then Saturday, May 2nd, is the Beaufort Water Festival 5K, 10K run at Live Oak Park at 8 a.m. Any other events?
We got the third Thursday on there. I don't know, it's getting to be that busy time where we get something pretty much almost every weekend. So, but a lot of really great local events, you know, like, isn't
Street
there,
music's coming back.
street music, isn't
Right around the
there,
corner.
I'm trying to think when,
May
Into
9th,
May.
May 8th.
there's a spring fling.
Yeah,
Not
first
a-
weekend
Not a
of May.
spring fling, the, I think Zenden's putting on a,
I think that's the 25th.
okay, so we'll get that out there as well too. Spring Fest 2026. That's what I was looking for, Spring Fling. Spring Fest 2026 will be downtown Paris Avenue, will be put on by a lot of our local shops and owners, so come out and support those guys and girls. We always appreciate that. That's a fun event. They do the Fall Fest and the Spring Fest. So I knew that was coming up. Okay. All right, so that's the 25th from 11 to 4, I believe. Okay. Any other dates anyone wants to add? I mean, that's enough to keep you busy?
That's good. That's a good calendar right there.
Absolutely. Okay. Hearing no more dates, and again, we always encourage everybody out there, if you've got an organization that's doing something in town, reach out to us, let us know about it. We're all about, promoting that and helping out any way we can. Sean's been doing a great job. I love that we got the upcoming events section now on the newsletter. That's been, I get a lot of information from there, so I double check that a lot. So thank you. Okay, up next, public comments. I got 2 public comments. Up first, Mr. Scott Clark, with Friends of the Port Royal Cypress Wetlands. How you doing, Scott?
Good, how are you?
Good. You got your master shirt on?
Yeah.
Ready, getting ready.
Mayor, Council, Scott Clark with President of Friends of Port Royal Cypress Wetlands. You may recall back in January, I came before you and told you that we applied for a South Carolina Parks, Recreation, and Trail grant. And I'm pleased and proud to announce that last Friday I was contacted by the SCPRT, and our application ranked number 5 out of 16 applications. There will be 10 full $100,000 scholarships or grants and 1 partial $77,000 grant awarded this year. So this means that once the archaeological and habitat surveys are completed, the Friends will be awarded a $100,000 grant.
Wow.
And it will be used to complete the remaining wetlands trail with the concrete, just like we did in Phase 1.
Great job.
The results should be fully official in May, sometime in May, and once that happens, I will, probably sooner, but I'll be working with the town to complete the bid package. And I hope to put it out to bid in late June, early July. And I'll work with the town on determining a start date. My initial thought was to do it in September, kind of timing it with when all the birds leave. Most of the birds leave. But now I'm thinking that it may make more sense, and again, I'll work with the town on this. I may want to look at doing it in August to correspond with the completion of the Paris Avenue improvements. So I'll get with the town on that. Also, you may recall last year, it was our first year for awarding a scholarship to a deserving high school senior. This year, we will be awarding 3 scholarships to 3 deserving high school seniors. So I would like to request time at the May 6th council workshop to present those scholarships to the 3 students.
Gotcha.
Absolutely.
Great work.
Thank you.
That's
Good job.
awesome.
Thank you.
You're sitting there, I mean, you weren't smiling, I didn't know what, come on, honestly, that's great news, that's awesome.
That's big.
We can get you on the calendar for that, of course. Man, that's really good stuff, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, yes, sir.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Appreciate
Scott.
it.
That's awesome. Great job, again. Okay, last public comment I got up here, Mr. Thomas
Say it. Say it right.
Grigowski.
Yes.
How'd I do?
Well, thank you, Mr.
Okay.
Mayor.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, members of council. My name is Tom Skriowski, and I am running for Beaufort County Council District 4. The reason why I'm running for County Council District 4 is because I love Beaufort. My family is here. This is a place where we call home. This is where our church is. This is where our friends are. And I really can't wait to be much more a part of the community than what I am right now.
And you love Port Royal.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So Beaufort and Port Royal is definitely our home. I'm originally from Chicago. I first came here when I was 18, and I was very upset because I was from Chicago and I wanted to be stationed in San Diego. Thank goodness I wasn't stationed there and I came right here for the first time. It was unbelievable. From 2004 to 2009, I was single living on the air station, and I got to see Beaufort grow up, Port Royal grow up as I was growing up and learning how to be an adult. Then when I came back, I was married with a family, 2 children. I have 2 daughters. That was 2016. We bought our first home down here in Shadow Moss. And then from there, we moved a few places. I've lived in Port Royal proper in the village from 2020 to 2024. Then we decided to move up to Spanish Point. However, we still always come down here to Port Royal. The beach is down here in Port Royal. The restaurants are down here in Port Royal. Our friends and neighbors are down here in Port Royal, and this is where we call our home. So, I'm currently attending University of South Carolina, Beaufort. I am scheduled to graduate next spring. I am studying history and pre-law, and I will take the law school exam this fall, and I will apply to Charleston. With that, I am looking forward to working with you all, and I'm looking forward to seeing you in the future. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Tom. Okay, all right. Okay.
Trying to figure it out. At least it's not here.
She's turning me off. Yeah, she was like, Kevin. That was
No volume button.
that was the mute button on the mayor. Yeah, so, okay, well, thank you very much for those public comments, both. Appreciate you, Tom, and thank you very much, Scott, and your whole team. That's great news. Okay, up next, we've got council comments. I'll start over here to my right with Councilman Guerrero.
Yeah, again, I will begin by saying, and I'm going to say this a lot, I hope I don't say it a lot, but I'm pretty certain I will, how disappointed I am in the support that we're getting in this, what is critical to us. We're a small town. We guard our budget really carefully, and the work that we put in, and everybody that works here, and all of the directors, the work they put in for that. And for that to just be looked at so flippantly is unacceptable. Tom, this is how serious we get about it, man. It's personal here, because we eat with you, we shop with you, we ride a golf cart with you. It's pretty important to us, and that's something I think that you need to capture that, if this is the road that you're going to walk, and we appreciate that, and wish all of you the best of luck. It's going to be an election season for everybody, so. But again, you're here tonight, and I hope you're capturing this. It really is, here in Port Royal at least, it's personal. It's all of us together. Now, better news, Mariner of the Month. I think a couple months ago, you guys entertained me again for a few minutes. I talked about bringing Port Royal Elementary in here. They asked us to recognize their Mariner of the Month. They reached back out to me, Ms. Young, their counselor, saying if we could hold off April doing it and then do it at the end of their school year. So for May, in that they didn't want the children from the first two quarters to go unrecognized. So May be a little bit of a longer read for the mayor again, working on those oration skills. So we get them ready for court, is all it is, to recognize those first, second, third, and fourth quarter awardees, and then in the coming year, just to do it once a quarter for each of those Mariners of the Month. So I spoke to Ms. Young. I said, I don't think that'll be a problem. Again, I'm not a one-man show. We are a council and a collective. So if you guys would entertain that, that'd be wonderful. And I'll continue coordination with Port Royal Elementary to make that happen for us. And then the last thing, again, another little bit of what we do, and I say we because, not that there's mice in the room, but every time that we get good, bad, or ugly and different news, I think we're all pretty good, whether it's somebody that did something that was not the best or somebody did some good. I think we are a good enough council and a good enough staff to get in front of that and own it for the town. I think we are the face of the town, and what's starting to happen out there more is our employees and our staff and those guys that are working every day on the roads are starting to own that as well. I had an interaction today with a really good friend of mine. He calls me, or he sent me a text message, and he says, this is the whole annexation thing, right? Nobody knows where they're at sometimes, especially if you're not familiar with the area. He says, where's he at? I'm going to read it right to you. Dang, brother, I forgot to get a Port Royal bus license. They got me working at picket fences and issued a citation. The enforcement officer is really nice and extremely helpful on how to get this alleviated. And those things are important. Again, even delivering not the best news to a business owner who's trying to make a living, our people are out there doing it. And again, a lot of that, again, then I really do attribute to the level of support they get from this building, and then again, the forward-facing council that they deserve and that they do have, and interacting with the public, where they're starting to reciprocate that every single day, and any interaction, no matter what it is. Again, good, bad, ugly, and different. And I think that makes me extremely proud, just to know that again, even in delivering good news or bad news, he's like, man, I couldn't even be mad because she was awesome, or they were awesome about it. Like, okay, so I wanted to share that with you guys. I like to share that with the community all the time because, you know, you are going to encounter one of our Port Royal employees at a certain point. I hope so, more often than not in a good way. But when you don't, there's some confidence built into the process there, and they're professionals, and I'm really proud of that. I'm really proud to be a part of that.
Thank you.
Well, I kind of got to agree with George, but just remember that we're up here fighting that battle for you and for the whole state, and especially with the S-125. I think we got a raw deal. I think it was horrible. And I think if any of y'all will write your legislators and tell them they need to own it and do something. And, you know, I mean, I don't want to point fingers, but when a local authority gets the information and doesn't pass it on, it hurts us all. So just remember that. So from the county council on up needs to be on notice. Because they got it.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, Mary Beth. Councilman Owen.
I ditto what they said also, but also the blue ribbon that I'm wearing. April is National Autism Awareness Acceptance Month, designated to raise awareness, promote inclusion, and foster acceptance for the millions of people in the United States on the autism spectrum. Throughout April, and particularly on World Autism Awareness Day, which was April 2nd, organizations emphasize education, advocacy, and supporting research. So April is designated American or National Autism Awareness Month, and that's what this blue ribbon represents. I also want to thank those people that put on and attended the well-supported food truck fest that we had on last Saturday. The weather was remarkable. We could not have asked for better weather. The attendance was superb. The vendors were great. The extended hours was appreciated, and no one complained about anything there. And so I've gotten great feedback, so kudos to those that put that on and the town for their participation as well. Staff, thank you.
Absolutely. Councilman Ashburn?
I'm good, sir. Everyone's covered nicely tonight.
Yep, yeah, they did. Yeah, you're right about the food truck festival. They did a great job with that. So couldn't said it better myself. We will not be adjourning at this moment. We do have an executive session planned to discuss potential contractual matters regarding property. So we will, if the council votes for it, we will go into executive session. I don't know how long we'll be in. We'll come out and talk about if we have any possible action after that, and then we will adjourn. So at this time, I'll entertain a motion that we enter into executive session for us to discuss potential contractual matters regarding property.
So move.
Second, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All right.
Thank you all.
Executive session. Thank you all so much. All right, thank you so much. Motion to come out of executive session?
So moved.
Get a second?
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All right, we are out of executive session. No action is taken, and again, that executive session was for potential contractual matters regarding property. Anything else for the good of the town?
Yes, sir.
All right, well, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All right,
Good night, Port Royal.
thank you.